Hello and welcome to this very special edition of this disaster series, which is all about this Lego room and my life. Now, what makes it an extra special episode is not just the carnage that's going to be happening with all the chaos, it is that bat symbol down there. Dirty Gotham is now going to be added to the theme park map, and we are going to create a brand new land for our theme park display. But for something magnificent as that to happen, something is going to have to go, but in a positive way. All of this that is up here is now going to have to get relocated, and we're going to split this up into all individual lands. So we're going to have a mythical sort of creature land type thing going on with the Rivendell and the Stranger Things, and like a medieval section as well. And then we're going to have a Disney section for the first ever time, because we are going to be pulling out the Snow White and we are going to be pulling out the Winnie the Pooh. Now, not only is that going to all be done in this upload, the puke wall is also going to change colour. So we've got a little bit of painting that we need to do within this upload. But before we can start all of that, and I can explain to you exactly what's going to be happening, I have to make space for this Kallax. Now, I need to move all of these units, and I have, in the process of pulling this table out, getting it all ready, and I'm going to throw all of these boxes in the actual cubby hole, because it's just starting to irritate me that much that I can't be bothered to keep doing it all. So it's all going to go in there, and then when we need the bits and pieces, I can then pull it back out. So you're going to go into a time lapse. We are going to make as much progress in today as possible. Hopefully this is just going to be one long special edition, but at the very minimum, we're going to be creating a New York Marvel display and a downtown Gotham display. So as per normal with the time lapses, I have no idea what you've just seen. Again, it could be my backside until I watch it back. But space is occurring, space is happening. Now, the reason why I'm doing all of this is getting it ready to then get the Kallax in and built when the first coat is drying. The reason why I have not yet put the first coat on and just literally pulled it straight off is I can't find a paintbrush. Out of all the things, I've got the paint, I have no idea where the paintbrushes have gone. I must have just thrown them away on the last lot, which means I've got to go and get them. But from here, it's a bit of a trek to go all the way over to come back, so I might as well just do that right at the end of the day. Put the first coat on, because it's not going to dry if I put it on now or tonight, and it will be dry hopefully by tomorrow evening, and I can just put the second coat on anyway. So there is method to the madness, it's just slightly annoying. So all of that is going to be coming off once I have made the space and put this table back. So with regards to the Kallax, this new unit is going to go underneath here. This is going to be for a future project, but it's going to have to go in now, or at the very minimum, I can just bring the box up here and have it there, and then it's just ready to go. It doesn't make a difference now once this floor is clear when we can start. The reason why I wanted to get it in and done was because the stuff that potentially could go on there can go on there, and that can just then happen. But you're going to go back to another time lapse now. I'm going to put you up on probably on this shelf just up here, and you're going to see me running around like a headless chicken. Plan is this table is going to go back. The stuff that's on the floor is just basically bits and pieces that need to go in this box. This is going to be our new instruction booklet box. That can all go in neat and tidy, and I've got to put the back on. I've got to put the back in. That makes sense. Table goes across. Then we're living the dream, and then potentially I'll run you through the sets the very last time that I'm moving, get them all pulled off, and then that is ready to paint, because then it could be painted. If I had a paintbrush, which I don't, I am going to go and have another look. It's not where I left it, so it's not exactly ideal. Then obviously I've got to pull out all of these, and then there's lots of other little bits and pieces that we can do. So while I want to be doing stuff while the paint's drying, not put the paint on and do nothing. It's always the wrong way round. But as it stands right now, the shop has yet to open. So we're still early on a Sunday morning. So we are tucking into it, but as soon as the shop's open, if I've got the time, off I go, come back over, and it'll just break the day up nicely, and then you guys and girls can come on a road trip with me. So enough waffling about, enough waffling on. I will get this gone first. As I'm doing that, think about where they are going to go. Because again, ideally, rather than double shifting everything, it all goes into the place straight away. But there's no real easy way of doing that unless I put this table back, put all of the stuff that's on the table underneath, put all the Gotham sets on there, just saying this out loud now, to then free up the space for the stuff that will move, to then move the Disney stuff, rather than having to shift everything loads and loads of times. The other thing is that obviously I just put every single set on these two tables and then put it back to where it needs to go, but I don't particularly want to do that. So you might see me run around quite a bit, and then I'll follow you in with exactly what is going to be going where. And when the Daily Bugle, yes, when the Daily Bugle moves, I won't do that as a time lapse, because I will make sure that you capture the glorious moment of that being crushed. But you're going to come up onto the shelf, and we're going to carry on. So we have done a thing, a table has been cleared, and as I was doing all of that, I was thinking there's actually only one way we can do this. All of the Gotham bits and pieces need to come onto that table, because I can't move them again until that back wall has been painted with the new colour, had the undercoat on, and it's dry. So obviously that's something that we need to think of. So what needs to move is this thing, those two over there for definite. Now, potentially the Avengers Tower is going to be shimmied about. All of that stuff on the top row is then going to drop back down again and be put into the correct places, so we can have a mess around with that. So basically we can be creating the New York display as the paint is drying, and obviously building up this Kallax as well. Or what I might do is just get the Kallax up here, but make up this display, see how long this video has been going on for, and then when the first coat of colour goes on, then actually build the Kallax at the same time. So I've got a little bit of a window. But what is going up where the Daily Bugle is this thing. So we're going to be making a Disney display for the first time. So we're going to make a nice Disney display. So that is going to be interesting. But what also is going to be interesting is trying to move that shadow box again without the door falling off. Now there is only 4 big things to move. So I don't really, for this one, need to put you on a time lapse. I don't think. So I think we should be all right. So I just plonk you there. Get this out the way. Get this out the way. We should be. He says, all right and good to go. So I'm assuming you can see everything. So we can just use this new table now as the Gotham table until the new area is ready. So I think this is probably the best way of doing it, because I need somewhere to put all those sets for the paint to dry, and as I know it takes forever to dry, I'm only going to be looking at 1 coat a day anyway, which is a little bit of a shame because it is so rubbish and damp up here. Now we have got 1 vehicle, 2 vehicle, 3 vehicle, 4 different vehicles. Yes, the tumbler is there. We've got 5, haven't we? So we've got to reincorporate them into the display somehow. So you're not missing out on much. It's just me putting those stuff up there, and you can see actually how big that is. It is a full width of the table. That thing is absolutely monstrous. It is a big thing. So the Batwing and the other car is there and there. Then we've got the tumbler up the side of the building, so that needs to find a new home as well. I have just realised I have put the Miles Morales car there, so I counted that by mistake. Obviously that is not a Batman car. We have an imposter, so that'll be coming back over to the Marvel section in a second. Now if I bring you a little bit closer, this should be okay. So we've got plenty of tape measures up here. Plenty of tape measures and no paintbrushes. But like I said, I've got the roller, so it's fine. Now the nice thing about doing all of this is obviously we can then reincorporate all the rockets. I'm just glad that this is actually coming out at the perfect time, because this is the final push. And then it's all going to be tiled, because the Gotham can't move. Because once it's been committed and it's been painted the new colour, the actual display set itself can't go anywhere else, so I haven't got another wall, which means we have a permanent home now for Marvel and DC. And it's something that we have been trying to achieve for a long time. Now we have got some Batman villains up at the top, heroes and villains up there. That was our pieces for the Daily Bugle, which I do not want to be losing, and I have got, there they are, some more Batman figures to put up at the top so they can all be kept neat and tidy. So this is the problem. The problem was this, which was that all happened in the live stream when the door started to break and fall off. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to shut this properly. But look at the space. That is scary. So that is, this thing here is 32 studs and it looks lost. That's obviously a 16 by 32, and you've got the 32 by 32 base plate is that. So two of those together. Look how much space we have to play with, how many modulars are going to come over. Now we are going to be making a really nice dirty downtown Gotham, so some of the modulars will be used, but we will, for example, keep the assembly square, I would imagine, up with the Marvel, but we'll be putting the museum down in the new Gotham display. So it's going to be a DC display. They don't do the Batman stuff. I know that area begins with an M, which is Meta something. Oh, I don't know. So it would be nice if they did the Daily Planet and all that kind of stuff, and they went heavier with the DC things, but we always seem to get Batman stuff. And as it stands right now, if they just went full on with the animation series with all the different vehicles and the different minifigures, I would be very happy with that. So when this is in its permanent home, I can then repair all of this, because we put it in, but we said it was always potentially going to move. Now a bit more's fallen off, which is always exciting. So that and that. Oh, see, I've now just broken it even more. So all I've done is go to get that bit on, and the door at the top, that whole piece now has just fallen off. Honestly, all I've got to do is breathe on stuff and it falls apart. So I've got to be so careful. But this door, to be fair, is such a beautiful set. It really is a beautiful set. So we will be doing, in this disaster series, full repair videos of each zone once they're in. Can I just get that off? Oh, grief. I can get it off, but it's now in 3 pieces. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want to do that, did I? Get that back on there. So these bits are massive. I think one of the very key pieces decided to fall off in the live. And it's just one of those, it's probably only like a 2 stud thing. And I can't see where it's supposed to go, but that is what the inside of that looks like. That is a very pretty looking thing. But in its new location, it's possibly, well, it gives us options, because not to spoil anything too much, but the back of it is actually white at the moment, which means it could be painted, or I'm very tempted, because I have just seen them, the box of tiles that are in here, I have a lot of yellow tiles. So if you have an idea of what I'm thinking with regards to a base plate, that silhouette and some tiles, I could potentially get away and cheat and do that. So that just doesn't want to stay on. Gonna have to lie that down, or prop prop him back up on there, which I have done. So we go 1, 2, huge space, and then this is coming out. This is coming out. And that is the stuff that is coming out, which is fantastic stuff. Daily Bugle from there I can reach because there's now no tail to fall through, which is perfect. I think what I'd do, it makes more sense. I'm just trying to do it in a way of I don't have to double shift everything. Those two are moving, they're going to stay as they are. None of that needs to be touched for a while anyway, so we're living the dream with that. All of these will come down, and then once the coaster's in, we can build and display 1, 2, 3 around it. I'm tempted to move the Ghostbuster Firehouse so it's a bit more, I don't know, because it does look really nice beside that, so maybe not. I think that'd be okay. But we're yeah, we're making some sort of progress, which is nice. This would have made a fantastic live, and I am still very tempted to go live later on today if I can be bothered, but at the same time I want to really just tuck into this. I might just skip it. So that is now completely clear of that. That is simple enough. Now what needs to come in first? Do I have to put that coaster in first? Because I think I can still reach. Because I've got a bad feeling the back of that coaster is higher than this, and this is where it's going to get very, very tricky. The only thing I'm thinking I could potentially do is shunt this piece maybe into this corner. So we've got the back of the coaster high up in front of the shelf, but the Daily Bugle's in front of it. So you can see you still see the coaster name, and then we incorporate all of the models around the coaster. Because it's so big that if it just went in the middle, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to get some rocket fuel and take a antihistamine, because if you've noticed my eye, I'm going to show you now properly, is starting to swell all back up again because I got bitten on my forehead and I look like a rhino. So I've tried to hide it as much as I can, but now it's starting to throb. So I will try and sort this out a little bit with some of that bite cream. Look, same prepared, I've got it here. And then we will carry on with this. This does need running repairs on, but I think that looks quite nice up there, and I think that blue looks lovely, and potentially we could actually have a firework backdrop as well, because this does come with the fireworks, doesn't it? So we've got all of these up here, and you do have those fireworks, which I think will look really nice against the blue. But I think the thing that's going to have to be missing is the flag at the very, very top. So this actually needs to be off center compared to the Daily Bugle, because the actual shaft, this bit, is the last bit that's going to get built, and I'm going to be stupid enough to actually build it on that shelf, I think. So I'm going to repair the sides on the shelf. I'll figure all of that out, and I can do that while the paint is drying. So what we need to do next is I'm going to leave those pieces there, and I've got a very, very bad feeling that one of these blue bits has gone in the Ninjago box, and that was a box that I've already put away in the actual thing. So I might be able to repair the one side, and then just I'll find them, because they were all together on that table, if you remember, before the table snapped. So I'm just hoping that it's just the one side that's come off. So you've got all those pieces there. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm hoping that is 1, 2, 3. And then on this side, it's just all the base. I'm fingers crossed it might be okay, because I am not going to lie, I have not built a single thing of this set. I picked it up. Jay's Toy Collections UK's much better half, Cheeky Monkey Kiara, has been putting this together for me, and then I brought it back here, and the box I put it in wasn't big enough, so it nipped the sides off, and I can't quite figure out which way they're supposed to go. But the nice thing is I think the sides keep it flush to the back. So if I put you hands free very, very quickly, don't want to spend too much time on this, because obviously the priority is getting that first coat of paint on, then we can mess around with this stuff. That's why you're going to be going to a lot of time lapses. But when it's like this, and that bit goes around there somewhere with the extra blue pieces, that is flush to the thing, and this is not overhanging that much whatsoever. But this does need a very, very good clean, for whatever reason it got very, very dirty on the move, and it is fully complete. So all of these little pieces will be in the actual box, which is just here. If not, I know where they'll be in that Ninjago box, because we did a mad tidy. So I do have some spare gold elements in different places, and it's just very, very easy for these sorts of things just to ping off. So it shall be repaired, but the good thing is it's all external fascia that needs to be sorted out, so that's going to go up. But I was saying that it needs to be off center, so this tall shaft has to be directly in the middle, and I think it's off by a fraction, so I don't think it's big enough. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to put you to a time lapse again, just so I can move all of this stuff very, very quickly, and then when we start to put it in neatly, that's where I'll be talking to the camera, and I don't want this to put you off anyways. I don't know how bad it looks, so it might be absolutely fine. If not, I might look very, very deranged, even more deranged than I normally do. Plan of attack, Rivendell here for now, so it's just out the way. The 2 Disney sets in the middle, that will go up at the top. As you can see actually how nice and bright that's going to look. Stranger Things is going to go in our new sort of area, which will go with potentially the Dungeons and Dragons and all that kind of thing, which is rumoured for this year, so that's just forward thinking. And then the haunted house will probably have to go on this corner when it's finished, because obviously it's the tallest thing, so I might put the Rivendell a little bit further down, and then we can just carry on going and moving around. So I've got a lot of walking to do, so I think I might actually just put you up here again, so you can see everything. So all of that now, ooh, needed to take the Daily Bugle off. So all of this now is going to be the last time you're going to see all of this in this area. Harry Potter, everything, all of this has got to move. The He-Man castle's got to pull out. All of this has got to come out, and then it's going to be a case of liquor paint, and then we'll see exactly what's what. So priority is the painting, so I'll keep this short and sweet, but I think this will look quite nice. So we'll keep that one probably tucked in the corner, put a load of trees and stuff up there, because that one obviously will have to move probably to about here anyway to allow that piece to be built and go in, and the other Disney bits and pieces can just go on to the other side. But now what I need to focus on is get that side just clear, so it's the Harry Potter and the He-Man castle can just get pulled forward, so I'm running out of space very, very quickly for these other tables, and then the painting can begin. it's on. We're just waiting for the colour now. That's going to take 4 hours in perfect conditions to dry. You're looking at 6 to 8 until we can do anything with it. And obviously I need to go and get the paint. So we will potentially get that in this upload, or in part number 2, we will paint that and put Gotham back and build the Calyx. And for the rest of this part, we can focus on the Marvel and Disney display. But I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know if you guys and girls prefer a mammoth video or 90-minute, hour videos. So we will see. We'll see how it goes. So ideally, that gets finished in today's upload. That gets finished in today's upload. And then I can focus on part number 2 down either side. Because even with the Calyx will just get done in the next upload regardless. So it'd be nice if I can get the colour on. That way I can get Gotham finished, which would look fantastic. And then the Calyx will just get built in the next upload, or potentially this one, if we crack on. So I will stop talking, and well, stop talking. That's not going to happen. But you can see what we are now got to do. What we now got to do? Let me rephrase that in English. You can now see what we have to do. So we have got, obviously, Disney up at the top. I need to mess around with all the trees, but that is in the correct place, and I can reach. So no matter what goes in that place, I can reach now, which is beautiful. Potentially could put some bits and pieces up on the wall. What? I'm not 100% sure. We have got the float. So that could come up here. That is in a box. Fantastic. That's got all the other little minifigures in there. If I've got space, the Ferris wheel might have a home. If I can get that tucked in maybe to that corner in front of that brick. If not, there'll be plenty of other bits and pieces that we can put there for Disney. So that's done. Now these tables here, you're looking at least a table and a half to these 2 tables now is going to be all of our medieval, mythical thing, which is all going to be water-based. We're going all the way back to the original idea of the Rivendell Rapids, but it's going to be more of a float ride than a big old rapid. So what we will be getting over a period of time is the castle, the market, the new Rivendell set, if as and when it ever comes out, if it does, because apparently it's going to be the eye, isn't it? So that'll either be this year or next year. And then the Dungeons and Dragons set with the big dragon to go with the castle. And then obviously we've got the Rivendell set. I've got a couple of giveaway purchases that can go in there as well. Before you know it, that's that space taken. And that's going to be its own land where you basically go try and get from one side to the other with water. So that's going to be something that's going to be done. The Star Wars stuff is going to go on the Calyx. So again, that'll be done in a different upload. So it'll both be linked to this, which I think, in all fairness, if I can get that red on for the first coat, the final coat will have to go on when the Gotham bit goes in, because I'm going to be too far into the week to get the Gotham back, because we're already, the first coat won't go on with all the will in the world to the start of the week. It's going to need at least a second coat, so you're looking at end of day Tuesday. I can't do anything up here Wednesday, so I won't be able to put or do anything Gotham related until Thursday at the very, very earliest. Whereas I can just focus on all of this and then towards the end of the week do part number 2. So it will have a colour on there, but I don't really think we're going to be able to do Gotham properly, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm saying that out loud. You know what this is like, but because it's a waiting game, we waited 4 days for that wood to dry, and that was just for a second coat. And I'm trying to do a weekly upload of this, so. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But I was thinking with the mythical medieval type-esque village, we could have Dargan Alley, the alleyway into the land. So it's just a walkway and then water, obviously. And then at the other end of the land, you walk underneath the Stranger Things set. And then in the middle, oh yeah, don't forget He-Man Castle will be in there. So we've got the Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain might be in there. It's going to be a nice looking thing. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tables basically. Everything on there isn't staying apart from this. So what I can now do is put some bits and pieces on the green that I know will be coming back to here, or it's just easy movable. So time lapse again maybe for you, and then we can start with this roller coaster, because I think this roller coaster has to go in first. So all of this will get moved now, and then roller coaster goes in. So I'm currently just having a battle with this. This side's in, finished, done. Absolutely beautiful. It's all together. We are living the dream with that. Now this side came pinged off a little bit more than the other side, so I've just got the booklet back out again. I'm just having an eyeball with regards to what goes where with regards to the pieces. And of course there's one or two nightmare bits like this, for example, where obviously they are underneath, so they need to kind of go on before that bit, and then it slots underneath there. So I need to find the other one of them to give it its full sort of ring around. And like I said, they were all safe and sound together until the disaster of all disasters happened. But we can easily get the sides on. We've got all of these pieces up at the top, so I can give it a good go. We can rebuild the legs and everything back up again. I think all I need is I can get this piece back on and get these smaller bits on and then get that bit on. Everything else, like that for example, is higher, so that should be okay, he says. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time plonking this together. There's no point me putting you on a time lapse because I could be here for ages. Because actually no, well, if you want to skip the time lapse, skip the time lapse, because if it falls off and I'm not recording it, you would never believe me it fell off. So I'm going to plonk you somewhere and then just keep tinkering for the next while to figure out exactly how I can get these pieces and everything back on an already built castle. I failed a little bit, but this side, like I said, it's completely done. This side is a little bit more sturdy on this bit, but I just need to rearrange one or two bits and pieces on that side. I've put all the pieces in there, but I am missing 1/4 brick in a light blue colour. So hopefully it'll be on the top of this table and I'll find it when I move all the bits and pieces. If not, well, it's going to be in that box that I moved away at the start, and that is not going to be good for anybody. But this now needs to move, so this is going to be good fun. I need to find a place to put you and then try and get it moved. I want to put it in, see what it looks like, get that building in situ, that building in situ, and then get the other bits and pieces around. That really is not going to be dry by the end of day 2 days, so I don't have to worry about that now. So we can mess around with this for a good chunk of time and then get the bit and pieces up at the top. But the nice thing is like, I think when that's in, I can still reach this. And now that I've built the bottom up fully, I don't need to pull this forward and backwards. I'll be able to build it, add it, and then take it up to the top. So I'm not too concerned that now this is on the shelf with this coaster going in. But what I am concerned about is actually moving the coaster. So we won't have a time lapse for this one because this is where it could go clang and bang. So we will soon see and find out. But we have got quite a lot more to do today, so we're making some sort of progress. Now they're all the different minifigures. They can have a new home. Now I've got to remember, I've got to take this out, and then we've got to figure out what we're going to do with this ship, because this ship now can potentially go somewhere else, or it goes straight back on that sort of custom stand which we built for it. Obviously it's all not fully complete, everything's only gone in rough anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. I am running out of space to put stuff. Alright, let's make a bit of room, shall we? So this is for the Bugle, that's for the back of the Joker, so that can go with Gotham, so that's safe and sound. Now once this table has become available, it does give us a little bit of more, well, gives us table space, doesn't it? But it is near enough a full table. Now this is never the easiest thing to move, and we're basically going to box it in once it's finished, I think. So I just need to pick this up like a huge pizza and then figure out it's going to have to go in this way. It's going to have to go into this corner. So I want to see the poster written on the front of it. So kind of tuck behind the Daily Bugle, but not quite. And then we can kind of maybe create some bits and pieces to it. It's either that or it goes in completely straight. But I don't know if we're going to have the room. In fact, we're not going to have the room for it to go straight with the towers there, because this thing is so big. Right. So just for perspective, that's how big this thing is. It is enormous. Now that's the angle that I'm going to have to put it in at. So we've got the two options are, it goes in that back corner stuck out, or it goes in this corner at that angle. But that is already, that's already hitting the wall at the back. But can I get this flush? So if I take the stand, if I have to relocate this, I will. If I've got to start taking the tyres off, it's not going to work. What do we think? Is it going to work? Oh, it's going to go, isn't it? It's going to go, it's going to go. Oh, that is so close. So this will go flush to the back. And then we are going to be able to have these there, hopefully. We're not out of the woods yet, but potential. It's not going to be. It's only these two bits that will have to be relocated. Obviously, I am definitely not losing these. I've lost enough pieces as it is. So this has been rebuilt and dropped so many times. It's a bit silly, but I think we can put, well, to be honest, we can just put the flags just lower. Just put the flags lower down. Oh, you would not believe, it's not going to work. It's now not going to be a working thing. But obviously, this isn't going to fit under. But then it wasn't going around anyway, because we had the other ship in it. But that is back to the wall. So if I take a step back, we can move it all the way to the left, tuck in that corner, Daily Bugle's in front of it, because we've basically got ideas for Daily Bugle and the Avengers tower. They're going to spin, basically. That's what's going to happen. They're going to spin. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. They're going to spin, and yeah, that's what's going to happen with regards to that. But now means we can do a bit of a battle with it. With regards to base plate in front of it, you're basically going to have that touching. That's your walkway. So it gives us 32 studs. So it's probably better it's here. We could put the ship back in there, and then we could go from there. So question is, what side do we put it in? Do we have it smack in the middle? Do we have it all the way tucked into the corner? Do we have it all the way tucked into the corner? That's what that's going to look like that. And then all of a sudden you can see now that's the building swallowed. It could, I don't know, does it make more sense having the tall bit sort of back here so we can see a bit of it but not all of it? Because we're going to have a big battle for this tower anyway. So this tower comes there. That's great. Tell you what, for the stuff that potentially could happen, that's the gap we've got. Now if we get this spinning round and it's to the front of the table, nothing's going to hit it, because that is the biggest thing on this. So we could go to there and have it tucked, and then we've got a little path coming this way, little path coming that way, and then we put something else in the corner, or we keep going. I don't think it works in that far corner, because obviously now we can build up in that corner and put some modulars and stuff there and do whatever we want to do with it. The Ghostbuster Firehouse will fit underneath that shelf, but if we do that, then we can't put that on top of it, so that's not going to work. The other option is we move that, we push this over a little bit more, so it's like that, because it can't go any further across now, because obviously this is a base plate and a half, not a base plate. And then we lose only that tiny little bit of space in the corner for stuff, and then it's sort of, I guess, you come around that side, you can see a little bit of it, you come around that side, you can see a little bit of it, and it's there. I'm not 100% sure with that. Does it look more theme park-esque merged with the buildings, or do we want it on display a little bit more? Because it's a big thing, so you could get some nice photos and things like that, for example. And then we still have got a walkway going through, and then you've got to figure out what we do in that very, very back corner, but that'll be a worry for a different time. It's not that much. That's Hawkeye. That is not that much space. Not that much space lost, and then we can just put units in that corner. Not 100% sure. Might have to take some photos and put out a couple of feelers to a few people. But that is where we're at the moment. So I need to take some photos, and then I'll catch back up and we'll get these in. So I've been having a play, still haven't quite figured it out, because the problem I've got is that if these two go in the middle, they kind of overlap the Disney Castle, but I don't know if these two are going to go close together and the Disney Castle goes over. If you do that, you then can't see anything behind. Now, of course, there is another option, that these two maybe, if they've got the roof height, come to the corner here. But they are going to be a spinning unit now, so they're both going to be on little turntables, so you can see everything front, back and side. Now, I have been moving them forward and backwards and just trying to have a play of drag them over one way, drag them over the other. I still can't quite figure out what looks best. The only thing that I can potentially think of is bringing the coaster into the middle, and then bringing those two into the middle, but having them a little bit further apart. So you've kind of got like this little footpath with the Disney Castle behind it. I thought it wouldn't be too much of a problem, but as you can see just here, you can't see the bottom of the castle. So when these two are close, obviously this is even taller. So if you've got the Disney Castle, that is really low down on the table, but the top of this is coming well past the clock. In fact, it's coming up to like that piece. So this thing is also massive. So I can't have this in front of the Disney Castle at all, but I do want it to spin. So let's see what we can do. I'll have a bit more of a play. I might put you onto a time lapse and just drag you one way than the other so you can kind of see what I'm trying to do. Then hopefully we'll be able to figure it out. massive progress has been made. Now the paint is still wet, so a colour cannot be added today. Hopefully it will be dry tomorrow and I will be able to get the first coat on and then write that off for another 24, 40 hours. It is just that cold and damp up here. It is what it is, but it does mean now that I won't be able to do Gotham in this upload. So that will happen in part number 2, which will look good because we can put Gotham back and get the Kallax built in the same upload, which will be probably next week. I'll be doing that now for me next weekend. So I'm a week ahead of these uploads. But we've done so much for the Marvel, and obviously you've seen it in the time lapse. That time lapse might have been quite long. I'll probably cut it up. I will run you through all the detail of those different bits and pieces now, starting with what has been pulled out. Now you can see what we are going to be doing with this. We're going to be doing a lot of different modulars that are in the actual display. So there's lots and lots of Easter eggs to come with regards to this, and what we're going to be doing to this wall is going to look very, very good. The Jurassic Park yet to be touched. We've got loads of stuff to do on the side of the tables, but we have moved this. So we'll start here and just work our way around. So we are going to be putting in this drop tower here, somewhere around this point. Going to have the haunted house in front of it. Now you would have noticed something's moved. The roller coaster and everything that is underneath this chair, because I was propped it up, just got off what is an extremely good video call with Jay's Toy Collection UK, and his name is in the description, so anything for 6-inch bigger and smaller or character related for Marvel and DC, as I was fighting for that to not crush the minifigures. We have just come up with lots and lots of stuff. So all of this has changed because this is now going to be our action of the Midnight Suns. Now this team consists of Morbius, Blade, the Punisher, Doctor Strange, and my custom Moon Knight, which is actually the correct Moon Knight. It's not in the CMF, and that's another gift from Jay's Toy Collection UK. The only other character I need to add is the Ghost Rider. That is in a bag somewhere, so I will hunt that one down. Now there are other bits and pieces as well, so there's lots changing. All of the spacey stuff, so the space roller coaster and the ships are going to go underneath the table, hence why that is down there and the other one is down there. They're going to be linked around with the Kallax unit, so that's still going to stay. So our Cosmic Marvel, which would be Fantastic Four and those kind of things, they will go underground, which will look nice underneath that display. So we've got setting up like different factions, different teams as such under the Marvel banner, because that is what we're doing with Gotham, but still at the same time keeping it as a big theme park. So we've lost the roller coaster from this zone, but we've gained the drop tower. And don't forget, this is an actual ride. It opens up, you've got the chain that comes up in there. Don't forget, it comes up, the doors are supposed to open and it shoots off. And if you remember, my first ever live, the doors fell off. Still not found them. That's like an abyss. The run of streets, obviously this all needs a little bit of work. I can't do too much to this area until this is come out, and that will happen in the next couple of days for me, and obviously in part number 2 for you guys and girls. I've just thrown the Ferris wheel there because it fits. We've got the corner garage, because it's a corner garage, and then we've got these 2 units. So this will be its own sort of village and its own different thing. And at the front of this, what I will do is I will add in the graveyard, which is the hidden sides set just here. We'll get a couple of zombie caps, have them at the front. There's your queue line into your ride. Thank you very much. Now, the Daily Bugle, as you know, is down. And what we have done with this is we have started to create a street. Now, if you look from this side, it looks fantastic because you have got the Doctor Strange at an angle. And then if you come from this side and it wraps around, you can then see the eyeball. And then where we've got this little bit here, this will all be tiled. We can put some characters and figures down there doing different bits and pieces. There's going to be lots and lots of Easter eggs all over the place. Now, this I was just hunting the minifigures down for. So the plan is I have left 2 full base plates for what potentially is going to be the X-Men mansion. It's a Fantastic Four mansion, then the X-Men mansion, which will be good. If it's smaller than that, we can make it a little bit smaller. But we have got a taxi just to this side. That is going to stay there, and it's going to be parked up, because that will allow us then to look through that gap. Now, you might have noticed Sandman's there, missing his hair. Doc Ock, Wanda, and then you've got all of the other sort of weird and wonderful characters up at the top. We've got Agatha up there and all those kind of things that came with the Doctor Strange set. Coming through and round, we did get this in, and I think this looks absolutely stunning. Now, we can, if you wanted to, have Ned in the grasps if you want to. And then you've got the bigger fingers on here. So to remember to get this in and underneath, I had to take the do not stand up sign. And I think that looks quite smart, just like that. I think that works nicely. Then we have got Vulture. And then you've got all of the other Spidey characters dotted around. So these will more and more will be added to this. And I have put the Miles card just underneath. His figure will be about. We'll do bits and pieces with the Q line and add in a load of Easter eggs. Because don't forget, we've got all of this. So this is all for display purposes. Now, talking display purposes, I said about the road with the taxi. We're going to have a half a road plate. So this isn't done. This is obviously the full plate underneath. But we'll have a single lane as a walkway. That'll wrap all the way around. It'll come around the building, which I have added in characters on. So the plan of attack for these is that these are going to spin. So this one and the Daily Bugle is going to spin around so we can see everything. So this is changed angle for now, just so I can get the different bits and pieces in. And when you take a step back like so, that is what that looks like, which I think looks beautiful. Now, coming through and round, you've got all the detail across the bottom, and then you've got the Hulkbuster. He's just stood in an area that I couldn't actually get any tiles in, so that can just stay there for now. Don't forget, we've got the Bruce banner. And you've got Aunt May in her house. So I have split that up, and I put that right beside the diner for Spider-Man as well, and I put the car in front of it. Now, obviously, all these roads and all these base plates, all of this will change to yellow, so I'll do that over a period of time, because that's what we have got just here, which I think looks really smart. And then we've got the X-Con thing from Ant-Man, and then potentially what we'll do is we will have the Giant Man, who I've got just here, either, depending on how tall it is, behind the car or behind the Ghostbuster firehouse, or on top of the roof attacking those different bits and pieces. So we've got plenty of different options with that with regards to this just here. So there's lots and lots of different bits and pieces going on, and I have rechanged the sign. So I've actually put the street light on this side, it is supposed to be on that side. So we've had a bit of a tweak and had a bit of a play. The jet is up top, and then we've got all the different bits and pieces up here as well. So we've got a Disney run at the moment. So we've got the two cabins, which look smart with the, obviously with the A-frame. And then we've got these nice trees that have all been added in, which again, I think looks nice. I've clipped all of those together, and that gives a really, really nice color, gives it a nice little pop. Then we have obviously got the Winnie the Pooh, which is beautiful. There's your spare pieces for this huge thing, and I'm looking forward to getting the rest of that shaft built just to see how big it looks. And then obviously with those fireworks, I think that'll set it off really, really nice. Then over onto this side, we have got the Snow White. Now, over a period of time, when the Disney sets, they release more like this, obviously the cabin potentially could come out and it will go into a completely different display elsewhere. But as it stands right now, that is all of these different bits and pieces. So this now is good to go with regards to tiling, and we can start adding in more and more minifigures. So what you're looking at right now with regards to that road plate, I'll be getting some vehicles back out of those boxes, getting all of this wrapped around in yellow, getting all the rest of the minifigures on. Like I said, that's what I've started to do with these, and that is exactly how this is going to work. And then Daily Bugle will spin, the Avengers will spin, which is going to be good fun to get in. And then all of these where we've got these sort of like the different angles where that's been angled, we'll have different displays and different battles and paths and shops going on in there. Because don't forget, we've got the smaller little games as well. So there'll be little pay to plays dotted around all over the place. So until this has been out, it's quite hard to visualize the amount of space that is here, but there is so much space just within this section that potentially I could backtrack another big theme park ride and add another ride onto this section. Now, what you are about to see now is a time lapse of another section that's been done. And again, thanks to Joe's Toy Collection UK, that's why the stall was where it was. We have done a thing on this table at the back, and this is how it ended up. So plan of attack, lots and lots of space on these tables now, so lots of it needs to move. But let me run you through the different bits and bobs. This is going to happen over a period of time for this section, and then potentially the Star Wars stuff will find its new home in the second part of this sort of monstrosity of an upload. This already has a home, which will be moving in a second. This is not part of this display. So tried to get all of this in this area, doing some different bits and pieces, as you can see, moving all the different bits and pieces around. It worked, but it didn't work as well as what it's going to now. So the Loop roller coaster is going to go here. Now the plan is where it says Loop, that shaft is going to be between this building, so you can look down there and look down that way. It is not by any means going to block the front of that tower off. That is not going to happen. That's why I've given it the whole space of the table. We'll shimmy it the way it needs to shimmy, and then with the smaller bits and pieces we can just put them at the end here, and potentially that little fresh shop that I don't know what to do with, that can go at the other end as a little bit of an eatery. From there, it gets nice and fruity, because the next section is going to be castle. So we're going to eventually pick up, I say we, me and everybody watching at home, I do this by myself, is the castle and the castle market. Those two together will look nice. That'll be the next bit. Then we go into a Rivendell Dungeons and Dragons type thing. This is the bit where it's going to be all water and greenery in the middle. Then from there, the Star Wars stuff is going to move. Now, where the Star Wars is currently, where I've moved everything over to that table, the only table that I actually needed to do stuff with, that is where the Harry Potter is going to go as an alleyway, leave space for the bank, and then you're going to have the gates in front of it, because the alley is going to go Jurassic Park gates into the alleyway, and then that'll lead you into the new downtown Gotham, and that will be done in the next upload when the Star Wars stuff comes off. So we've got lots of moving like we're doing here. There'll be a lot more to come, but we are talking of moving this. Now this is going to be, well, it's going to be the Punisher. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But it's going to be a park. So we are going to put, because I said about putting a big ride there, forgot that was behind me. That was the plan. So I turn around. So what is going to go here, we're not backtracking a ride to go here. That is for the carousel. It will look beautiful just beside it. We'll put greenery around it. And then obviously the Punisher from a distance. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, you want to get watching the Punisher series. It's easy enough. It's now on Disney. It was on Netflix. Or just read the comics of what actually happens. That is what we're going to recreate in a theme park area. So it's going to be more of an adult Easter egg on that one. So that can come over basically straight away. In fact, I think I'm very, very tempted just to do it now, because I can just move that coaster carefully, put it to where the laptop is, because it's in front of that. So this is all under construction. So this is my under construction tables. Where Gotham is now is going to go Ninjago. So that will all be Ninjago. And then that next table is basically empty. So once this is all done and it's all been sorted out, this table that is going side on will be for future expansion. I guess that'd be the easiest way to think about it and do. So I will move this. We'll get that in the correct place. Then I am going to take some more painkillers to see if this swelling will come down, because it looks worse, a lot worse than what it is. What it is, I have absolutely no idea. And then we'll carry back on in here tomorrow. But I do want to get that over on this side so I know it's done. It's just one less thing to do. But I am going to need 2 hands. So I will put you just here. I won't annoy you with that. You're there, I think. There, yeah, something just broke. So that is you. That's splendid. And as you can see, I've been putting all the minifigures in the bags and the little dioramas, and ahhing what we're going to do with the endgame stuff. So it's all getting there. We're doing really well. So this now is, like I said, it's all going to be tiled. It's not moving. That's in. That's its permanent. That's its permanent home until they release something absolutely massive. But I think for this year we've got Marvel covered, which would be good. And then we've got all the ships and everything, like I said, that is going to go underneath the table. Now that can move there. And then we can fill in all the blanks with regards to the trucks and stuff that I've got as we progress through. But for now, if I can get this over to here. Like I said, this is going underneath the table. Now, just to put it into perspective, if you have this space coaster, it's not the smallest of things, but it is tiny compared to the Rivendell. That Rivendell set, when it's together, is enormous. You can see what we're going to try and do with all the water. You've got all the footpaths. It's all going to be a really, really nice green open area. And this will be our future projects, set by set. This is where we're going to be, what we're going to be aiming for. But that now is coming over. So you were pointing to the sky on that, but I'm not re-talking on that one. So tough and tough. Move the tape measures. Now, back at the bottom of this is not attached, I don't think. So that belongs to it. I'm sure I've moved this more times than anything else. I think that ticket office might belong to it, that ticket booth. Little space rocket can go there because that's going to go at the end. Got the little monkey swing. Up, round, down, here we go. Yeah, it's going to work straight away because you've got the different heights of all three buildings, and because you've got the assembly square behind it, which again is a nice big modular, this now does not look too towering, and it works. In fact, that works really nicely there. Alright, so yep, that will be fine just there. So we have got the not horror ride, but we've got a sort of ride linked in with this, and then a little bit of greenery around it, like a picnicky-esque area as such, which I think should work very, very well indeed. Now what I obviously will do is when the paint is, the first coat of paint goes on for the colour, I'll add in a couple more minifigures onto the tops and those bits and pieces, but we'll be doing a lot more diorama bits when Gotham goes back in. So you can see what I've done. I've started to put the minifigures here, found the bikes, so they're going to go back up on there. So we are slowly getting there. So this is what it is looking like currently. We have a complete white wall, if you squint, and then all of this under construction for these three tables. This is our expansion. We've got the He-Man castle to come over, the Jurassic Park gates have got to come over, so it will start to fill up quick enough because you obviously got the Stranger Things and the Harry Potter, all of that's going to get merged. But all of this, as it stands right now, I really like the angles, how you've got the diner going through there, and then again you've got the Aunt May house just there. So depending on where you look, where you stand, really good for photos and all that kind of thing. I think it will look nice. And then obviously we've got the big calf right at the end. So technically it's a calf ride, food again with the diner. And it's just all sorts of theming with the main ride for this. It's just all merges in as what it should do. And then obviously you've got the bonus stuff of the Disney. So that I think looks smart. All those bits and pieces look nice behind it. But like I said, that really can't be tinkered with now this side until the Calyx goes in. And we can't tinker anything on that side until the Calyx goes in. So it is going to be very much a case of get that paint on, which means I've got to go and get it, which I will be getting it when I leave work tomorrow, which means you're going to catch back up with me, more than likely on the motorway, for a road trip. And of course, it doesn't go to plan because today's a new day and we are not in the truck. And the back wall is still white. But on a positive, I think that looks very, very good. We've got the haunted house, we've got the carousel. I think they work very, very well together. And then as I pan out like that, I think having all of that in one shot, I think it's starting to look like a proper theme park with theming of New York / Marvel bits and pieces. So that is going to take us on to here, because I think the backdrop of the modulars actually complement it very, very well indeed. And like I said, when the Calyx is built, going underneath that table, all of the bits and pieces here can then get sorted out. So this at the moment does not exist in this upload at the moment, but it will be in part number 2, obviously. So I've got bits and pieces that I need to tidy and basically prep, because I was supposed to be doing that now, which has gone well, and I was going to do this on another day. So now I'm going to have to do what I was going to do on the other day now, and vice versa. But before I start doing all the boring stuff, which I'm not going to waste your time with, I was thinking, well, we are zoning this out properly. I mean, properly. I really do like the looks of all of this at the top. I think the Snow White looks very, very good. I think the castle works very, very well indeed. And then we've got this really nice theming up at the top where we've got the Winnie the Pooh and the houses. And then we have got the A-frame cabin. And then we've got Jason's sort of wood cabin, the Friday the 13th, which I'm going to add in probably one or two of the horror figures, just there's a little bit of an Easter egg because that is Jason's cabin. That's what it got nicknamed on one of the lives. And then obviously as we're coming round, I think it just works very, very well. So again, you've got those sorts of angles with the diner, fire station, or the Ghostbuster fire station, firehouse I do believe. And then you've got the nice Avengers, and obviously just everything else. It's all working very, very nicely. It's all coming together. But as I was driving around in a horrific amount of traffic on the way back because of stuff that is out of my control, hence why I couldn't even get anywhere near the paint shop, I was thinking, at what point do we end New York? And what I mean by that is, obviously, if you look at this right now, from there over, it's New York, minus that bit on the corner, because that's obviously a disaster thing anyway. But you've got the Spider-Man run at the back, so we've got that as a nice long row. Obviously you've got the Doctor Strange, which technically is Spidey, because all of that was together as Spider-Man, and then we've got that bit at there. Now what I didn't mention yesterday is the bridge. We have left space for the bridge. So the bridge will, I think, go here. I think it'll go where the car is, and the car can just go out the front, or it can go around the side or whatever. But I think the bridge would work well there. And then we've got a base plate and a half. We've got 2 base plates of space, and then you can still see that gap through. So the bridge isn't massively tall, and you can still see everything. And I think it'd be quite nice having the bridge basically going to nowhere, and you've got the battle just at the end of the bridge. So there is still space for the bridge. But I was thinking to myself, what point do we end the yellow? So obviously it starts here. I want to add in all the different theming on it, add in all the different figures, add in some more vehicles and all that kind of stuff, which is what I will be doing in this upload, in part number 1. But I've got to get it, and I've got to go back in that unit. Because if you remember, which feels like it was forever ago, which was only yesterday, I put the boxes all in there out the way. And if you noticed, I picked one up and put it on the carpet that had these pieces in, and then I got carried away and put them all in. So I need to pull that table back out again, which now has all of our Gotham stuff on. So I've got to be super careful in doing that. So potentially I'm going to give it a little pull off camera. If it doesn't work, we'll add in all of the theming in part number 2, because obviously this will go over to that bit. Now let me speak to you a little bit more about what is to come with this, because we are going to be adding the colour. When we add the colour, what I want to do is I need to find all of the full size base plates. I'll plonk them down. We'll put the sets over the top of the base plates anyway, and then on show will be half the road, and then we've got the studs. I'll just use them for now. It won't be perfect, it might angle some of them, and then over a period of time I will then do what I've done with this, because this was actually all for Gotham. So if you see the difference between the two, and not just the colour either, and forget the fact that it's white, if they're both grey. Each individual pieces of these, so it's all supposed to be potholy and really rough and rugged for Gotham. And then we had smooth for New York, which clearly isn't right, because every single road in New York, I do believe, has massive potholes anyway. But in the films, it is bright yellow. But that takes me all the way back to what I originally said. Where does New York end? Because if it finishes just here, where Storm is stood currently, that means we can do a completely different colour for a different zone. Still superhero-y stuff, but as you go through on the map, as you would do in a theme park, it would say, you know, New York, there you go. Then we've got what this is gonna be under a different Marvel sort of banner. And obviously we could add some other characters as well. With the run of the modulars at the back, we have got room for one more modular as and when. Obviously we've got the John Wick Hotel. We've got to think exactly where that's going to go, so that will be put in somewhere. The museum, that is going over in our Gotham display, as is the bank, the pet shop, jazz club, cinema and police station, because that is all of the bits and pieces that are on the new animation series artwork, and of course the shadow box and the Joker as well. So all of that will be going in its correct place, which I'm really looking forward to in part number 2, because there's absolutely no way that paint has dried. Oh, it's still wet. There's still wet patches up at the top. Oh, we are well over 24 hours now. This is 4-hour drying paint, mind. It's just madness. Mad. So, where does New York finish? That's what I've got to think of, because like I said, all of this is going to be done. It's all going to be added in, and I want it looking like that, basically. I want the whole thing looking like that with a couple more vehicles, and this whole area is going to be done. Now, this is obviously the first area that is going to be tiled. We're starting here, or we can do Gotham. Gotham probably be finished first, but I'm cheating by using the road plates. But I just need to find them all, because there are some down here, and we did have a lot of them. So where they've gone, I'm not 100% sure, but I want to get those ready as well. Now, I was saying about doing like a picnic area, like a different sort of area with this, because we were going to use this as an Easter egg for the Punisher, which is... Oh, I got that excited. Look, I said the name Punisher. I need to drop the camera. That is staying. They're not moving, and I think they look beautiful. I just wonder if we just fill this middle section with the smaller bits and pieces. Because for future planning, loop coaster is on there. This whole table is all water. So that's a river raft ride and all that kind of stuff, the Jurassic Park and all that kind of thing. So you're not going to have the really cute banana monkey swing in the middle of water, are you? So that's just not going to work. So the only place those little rides can go is here, because we've got horror ride, big ride, drop tower, big carousel, both of those. Don't forget, some of the carousels are enormous, and there is a double-decker one at Legoland as well. Then we throw in the smaller bits, because I've put the Funfair Ferris wheel at the back. That could potentially just come forward angled, and it's here because it says fun, so we've got that there. It's either it goes here, or it goes with the Joker stuff, because I've just seen the Joker amusement park episode, which is episode number 9, I think, and it's got all the big roller coasters in and all that kind of thing. So that would work. Worst case scenario, if we can't find space for the much smaller rides like the rocket, the popcorn, the duck ring toss thing, so if you get that spins round, you've got the little rings that go over that. All of that will go in front of the Joker Manor, because that will all make sense. It just works perfectly. So that is our backup plan, but I just wonder if we can get it fitting in here. So I need to spend a little bit of time finding some of those sets again, because they've all been moved for the 437th time. I think they're over there. I just want to get some of them placed. I want to get the Ferris wheel out, see what we can do with that, and then I'll think about what we're going to do with this. I need to find some of the yellow tiles and then carry on. So today is another new day. Yes, this is starting to get quite difficult with regards to following, but yesterday didn't go well. The day before that didn't go well, because I'm supposed to be in this truck now. This basically has turned into the X-Men Sony universe, because nobody knows what's going on and there's no continuity to what I am supposed to be saying, but it is all filmed in the correct order. So we are now in the middle of nowhere as per normal, and we're about to shoot off and get some paint finally. Now, if they don't have the correct colour at the place I'm going to be going to, on the way back I can shoot down the motorway, then fingers crossed get what I need to get. But I do need a paintbrush and probably a small roller as well, so I've got to pick up all of that gubbins. So I'll clip you up onto the dash, we'll get driving, and then fingers crossed the store has what we need. Right, we are away. So hopefully they'll have the bits and pieces that we need. So like I said before, we need some paint rollers and a paintbrush. The drive will not be thrilling whatsoever, but it is also very pretty, and it's not raining, which is always a nice bonus. So fingers crossed it'll carry on that way. So as I am driving and quite literally talking to myself in the truck, what sets are you most excited about for 2024? Are you looking forward to anything that is sort of on the list of bits and pieces that might be coming out later on in the year? I've got my eye on a couple of different bits and pieces, but ideally by the end of 2024 I would like the Loop roller coaster, obviously the new Gotham set, and then potentially one other set, which more than likely will be the X-Men Mansion as well, and obviously anything else Batman related to the actual animation TV show, or animated series shall I say, because the plan for me for further afield is I want to be going to more and more Legoland parks around the world. So as it stands right now, I have got a Singapore trip booked, and that is going to be happening at the end of next month. So there'll be a lot more Legoland related bits and pieces coming out, which is always exciting. And I also am very tempted over Christmas time to head much further afield and potentially check out Legoland Japan, of all places. So there are a couple of different bits and pieces that I am interested in having a look at. because obviously I want to do Billund, because I've not done that yet. Obviously this year I've not done Germany in a long time, so I want to try and get to Germany, and I want to do Windsor. But each one of those can be done in a weekend, which is easy enough. So the stuff that's further afield would be very interesting, but the stuff that's local, I want to still try and get to Germany. I want to get to Windsor, I want to get to Billund, so that's 3. The trip to Singapore will include the Malaysia Legoland Park, so that's park number 4. And then I'm going to come back via Dubai, so that's Legoland number 5. And then potentially later on in the year, I want to do Disney, yeah, that's right, Disney in Japan, Universal in Japan, and Legoland in Japan as well. So there's quite a lot to look forward to from the channel from the end of April. There's going to be lots and lots of different theme park content, and if you are interested in the theme park content, I will be setting up a secondary channel, which I think I will link into this description once that channel has gone live, because I'm going to put all of the travel vlogs that are non-Lego related up, because I've got so much stuff from the Universal theme parks and all that kind of thing. It confuses the YouTube algorithm when I upload it onto a Lego channel, whereas if it's just more of a theme park channel, it will understand what I'm going to be doing. So for more theme park-esque based stuff that is non-Lego related, I will be having a secondary channel under a different name. So with that being said, I will carry on now driving to where it is I need to drive. It's only a short, sharp drive. It's literally just at the roundabout from here. Obviously, it's very pretty in these neck of the woods, but I am absolutely nowhere near where I should be at the moment. I've got about, I know, almost like a 50-minute drive back home from here, so it's always exciting when you're driving the wrong way. But guys, I will catch back up with you in a minute. So we've made it to our destination. I've already been in, and they had absolutely nothing, which is not ideal. They had loads, don't get me wrong, but it was not the correct colour that I was after. They had more of like paley type colours, or like a Costa coffee colour around the outside, so it wasn't a nice rich colour that I was after. But luckily, coming to this one, it's been a bit of a saving grace, because it's really far out the way for me. However, you've got a lot to choose from, because directly behind me we have another company called The Range over in the UK, and they had this. So they didn't have that at B&Q, but they had this really nice, bright, vibrant red, and it's called Signal Red, which I think is going to look beautiful up on that wall, because it's going to be bright enough, just like it is on the actual logo. And then when the set and everything gets added to that, it should be really nice. That is pretty much Superman's cape. So if you're wondering what colour I was going for, I'm pretty sure that Signal Red is there or thereabouts. You can do your own research. Is Superman's red cape. So let's hope that is the case. So I now have to go all the way back, but like I said, it was worth the trip. I didn't pick up any storage boxes because I don't think I need them yet, and if I do, I'm not 100% sure what size to go for, so I'm going to get that Kallax built first, and then it might be another road trip to get those storage boxes, because I'm now doing this all completely the wrong way. So I need to get going. There's no point filming that back. The traffic is horrific to my left hand side as well, so you could probably hear it in the background, but we will get going. I'll stop randomly talking to myself in the truck, and then I'll meet you back in the Lego room. We are on the way home, but we've not quite made it yet. I've got 1 or 2 more bits and pieces I've got to do for work related stuff. Then I can head back, but I have a little gap, and I want to share with something you very exciting. I got some paintbrushes for £1.40, I think they were, for 3. But the reason why I'm saying that, not because of the cost of them, is because you guys and girls are going to wonder, why aren't you using a roller? That wall is a nightmare to use with a roller, and it's going to spit because I'm going to have to push it on too hard, and it's not going to take properly because the bricks aren't level. So I'm going to have to spend a huge amount of time doing it all with a paintbrush, because I had to do all the other colours with a paintbrush as well. I put the base coat on, the damp proofing on with a roller, just slap that on really quickly, but to get a nice finish I can't use a roller. So I thought I'd say that now, otherwise I am going to forget. So the next thing you're going to see is a time lapse of me getting the paint on the wall. guys, I keep up on an X-Men timeline. Today is yet another new day. We're now Thursday. I painted that back wall on Tuesday. It looks horrific. If I spin the light round, that is dreadful. So the middle section, that little bit just there where it's a different shade, I've just done it with a roller. Everything else has dripped so bad. Look at it. Every single brick is like that. What happened, it must have got really damp or really cold in here on Tuesday night. And that monstrosity is left. And it's supposed to be matte paint, which isn't supposed to be very shiny. Like if you look at all of the others, all of these were done with matte, not silk. And we've got this really high, wet look shine. And I have absolutely no idea why. It's bone dry. It doesn't look like it is, but it is. It's still a little bit tacky, but it's not fantastic. I don't know what is going on with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very, very quickly paint a section of this wall and see how it dries. I might have to do quite a bit of it and just see if it dries any better. But the problem is you can already see the lines underneath. So I've got a very, very bad feeling at the weekend I'm going to have to scrape it all back and do it again and just do all of it with a roller, because it's just been a complete waste of time. Honestly, this whole disaster series sums it up. Not sure why that has got now a super high shine. I am almost 100% sure matte paint is not shiny and the silk is shiny. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to say it out loud, and I could very well be wrong, but I don't think it is. In fact, I know it's not, so I don't even know why I'm saying that, but I just don't get why it has that wet look, like all across the top. It looks like it's still wet. I mean, the bit in the middle that I've just done, you can see there, it isn't shiny. So I really don't know what's going on. But apart from that, splendid. So you're gonna have to stay tuned for part number 2, because I'm gonna get this done. Then I've got to put all of this editing stuff together from the stuff that I've done over the last couple of days. I have found some bits and pieces here. So we've got all these little bits and pieces. All of this will get added in as our fun fair sort of section, slash not so much of a thrill, like a thrill seekers section, but we'll add some of the smaller bits and pieces in there. And then the calyx will start on part number 2, while I think that paint is drying for what will potentially be the third and hopefully final coat. But I'll smash the second coat on now. You'll see what that looks like at the start of part number 2, which will also be the following Saturday to this one. And then hopefully in part number 2, I will get the calyx built, that wall will be finished, and then we'll be good to go for the rest of the display before the new Batman set. So guys, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Yes, we're going to leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger. Yes, it looks dreadful, but it is only the first coat. But I've never seen it run and bleed like that in here before, and you can see, I mean, look at it. I didn't even put it on very thick, but it's bled all down the wall everywhere. So it's just gone on brick on brick on brick, and all these bubbles have appeared as well. So I think it's had a reaction. So I don't know if it's reacted with the paint that was underneath it. This paint's gone off, which, to be fair, it probably has done, because it absolutely stinks. And this is a brand new tub as well, so oh well, never mind, life goes on. So guys, again, one more time, if you like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Get your ideas in the comment section below, because this will go live while I'm in here sorting out the following week's one. So if you've got any ideas with regards to what sets are missing for the Marvel, if I should get some smaller sets to add into here, and then like I said, Downtown Gotham will be appearing in part number 2. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care now, until the next one. Ta-da.